Welcome guys, this is Andre with the Andre Lifestyle. This is a self-improvement channel where I document and educate my audience on what I've experienced in the military, the health and fitness rules that I live by, the self-improvement books that I've read, and the travel destinations that I recommend. Subscribe to stay up to date with new, great content every week. Alright guys, this video is going to be about the Asvab test, and everyone knows that in order to join the military you have to take the Asvab. So I've been watching a lot of other YouTubers talking about the Asvab and claiming to have tips and tricks in their videos and stuff, and a lot of times they just talk about what the Asvab is, but I've taken the Asvab twice. So I've taken it when I joined the Army, and I've taken it when I retook it when I joined the Coast Guard. And so I have a pretty good idea of what the Asvab is and what it's like to actually take the actual test. The tips I'm going to give you in this video are pretty basic. It's kind of like some tips that you probably heard while you were in high school. But it's basically just an overview of what the Asvab is and why this test is so important for your military career. So I'm just going to start off this video just by telling you what the Asvab is, the Asvab test is. So right now I wrote myself a little script because I tend to blab on about nothing. So to make this video short, I wrote a script. Okay. The Asvab stands for the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery Test. This is straight from military.com. It's most widely used multiple aptitude test battery in the world. As an aptitude test, the Asvab measures your strengths, weaknesses, and potential for future success. The Asvab also provides you with career information for various civilian and military occupations, and is an indicator for success in future endeavors, whether you choose to go to college, vocational school, or a military career. Your Asvab score can be critical. Let me see. So the Asvab is comprised of your test results in arithmetic. So it tests you on arithmetic reasoning, math knowledge, and verbal composite. Okay, now the required scores, these may have changed, but from military.com it says for the Army the minimum is 31, the Navy is 35, the Marines is 31, the Air Force is 36, and the Coast Guard is 45. Then it says, it has a little disclaimer, these sources are subject to change without notice. Okay. So I'm going to talk why the Asvab is so important for your military career. And when I was 18 and joined the military, I didn't know how important that this test would end up becoming, or how crucial this test really was for my career. So like I said, I wrote myself a little script. I say this is the most important test of your life. This is just my opinion. Especially if you plan on staying in the military for 20 years. This test determines what jobs you qualify for in the military. So guys, please help yourself in the long run so you can give yourself more opportunities in life. And what I mean by that is the higher the score that you get, the more jobs you qualify for. Okay? Now I'm going to give you the Asvab test, basically some tips, right? And I've got a couple of them from military.com as well, but a lot of these I came up with. These are just basic tests, and my computer just turned off. Fuck. Alright guys, I'm back. My computer is back on. The battery died, so I'm just gonna, I'm not sure where I left off, but okay, I got my script now. The Asvab test is different from other tests than you probably took in high school, okay? The test doesn't penalize you on wrong answers. It just counts the right ones. This means that you should never leave a question unanswered, and that's so important. If you don't know a question, don't stay on that question for too long. Just skip it and come back to it. And if you still don't, like if you still can't figure out what the answer is, there's 4 choices. Choose one. That's just the best advice I can give you. Just guess. Take your most educated guess. Eliminate 2 of them, and then you have a 50-50 chance of getting the question right. This is actually a strategy that I used throughout high school and on this test. Okay. So, but yeah, guess and you might get the right answer. The test is timed, so don't stay on a question for too long. If you stay on a question for too long, this is just so you guys know what would happen. Worst case scenario, let's say you did stay on a question for too long, and the time was up, you'd be completely screwed. So let's say you're on question 10 and you need 10 more questions till you get to question 20, and that's the end of the section or whatever, and you're stuck on question 10 and you use up all of your time. There's 10 unanswered questions, and so there's 10 unanswered questions that could have been, an educated guess, that could have been that you probably knew the answer to, and so you lose the points, you lose you're gonna get a bad grade for that section, guaranteed, if you don't listen to this tip. So another tip, unless you're absolutely sure that you're wrong, this is straight from military.com, and I just wanted to include this. Unless you're absolutely sure that you're wrong, don't change the answer once you've made it. Studies have shown that a lot of people do end up changing the right answer to a wrong answer, and that's all due to stress while being under pressure. So super important that once you believe that you got the right answer, don't change your answer. And like I said, unless you're 1,000,000% sure that the right answer was something else. Okay, so just a recap on how I studied for this test, just to let you guys know, the way I studied was being in the library in a quiet space. I checked out a bunch of Asvab books, and I took a lot of practice tests, okay? A ton of practice tests, and I timed myself. I used my phone. So I just researched on how much time they give you in each section, right? And then I would just sit there and study and just take tons of practice tests. I feel that that's the best way to study, is to put yourself in that environment, kind of like an athlete. You wouldn't half-ass it in practice and then apply yourself in the real game. It just doesn't work that way. You're gonna do the very best you can in practice so that when you're out on the field in a real game, you're not fatigued and you can play at the highest level. It's the same thing with this test. It's kind of reminded me, if you guys have ever taken the SATs, it kind of reminded me of that in terms of the high pressure that you feel to answer all the questions in a timely manner. So another thing, when I was practicing for my test, I did a lot of they have a lot of options online, online courses, where they give you free samples and stuff. There's one that I'm gonna leave in the description below. It's specific for the Asvab test. You can pay for it for 6 months. I think it's like $40 for 6 months worth of it. They do let you try a sample, but I would recommend buying it for the $40, and it's an investment. And then you have a guaranteed, they have a guaranteed return policy up to 60 days. So if you guys absolutely hate it and it didn't help you at all, just return it. It's guaranteed, okay? 60-day return policy. So I'm trying to think anything else that I'm probably leaving out about the Asvab test. any other tips to study for it, I think that's it. I mean, again, when I did take the test, I was prepared because I did study for the Asvab. The first time I took the Asvab test, I was joining the Army, and I was not prepared. I had no freaking clue what the test entailed. I didn't study, like, I was 18-year-old, I was dumb, right? I just didn't know what I was doing, did no research when I joined the Army or anything. So when I took the Asvab test, it was really, it was tough. The second time around, when I switched over to the Coast Guard, I knew how important the Asvab test is, and I really want to emphasize how important this test will be for your military career, because for the Coast Guard, I ended up really studying my heart out for that test, and I got a really good score. So I'm gonna leave you with this: do what you need to do now so you can do what you want to do later. So I hope that I gave some good tips to anyone that's planning on joining the military and is gonna take the ASVAB very soon. If you guys have any questions for me whatsoever, you guys can comment. I do read all the comments down below. You guys can follow me on Instagram at the Andre Lifestyle, and of course, guys, please share this video, like this video, and subscribe. I appreciate all the support, and I love you all. Thank you. Andre out.